Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back with another, say it with me now, say what? Y'all, I'm getting good. I'm getting good. I'm getting good. Go ahead, do me a favor, hit the like button as we begin. I have a question for you guys. What did the bird do? Because in the newest episode of Sister Wives, the Bird's daughters, Brianna and Aurora, spoke about being left out from the family and how they feel like they're ostracized. One of the sides. This is starting out great. By the family. On the last episode of Sister Wives, both of the Bird and the Bald Eagle's daughters sat down and changed the narrative, much like their lying Pinocchio tail having mama. They shared details of what family members have said to them that made them want to keep their distance, with Aurora claiming, my mom's kids and we've each had our own experiences being told directly. I have been told directly in multiple circumstances by multiple different people that I was not accepted, that I was not their sister, that they don't, consider or see me that way. She sounds a lot like her mother. But let's say that was said at some point. My question is, how old were they at the time that was said? Were they like 8 or 9? Because at this point, I need to see if Aurora is just this naive or if Aurora is just this manipulative. Has she taken some of the characteristics of her burned brain mother? Because there is a difference with the sibling dynamic. Because what they may consider as teasing, the Bird and the Feathers seem to consider as bullying. Robin raised her kids like they're dolls in a china shop. And because they're dolls in the china shop, certain things can't be done and said to them, even though the OG 13 said and did those same exact things to each other. And I wonder, if it was said, what were they doing when someone told Aurora that? Because despite Robin presenting her kids as these little angels, they were little brats. Okay, let me fix it. They were a little bratty. No, they were brats. I mean, some of the other kids were brats too. I get it that they're kids, but I gotta call it like I see it. I'm not gonna go in on them the way that I want to, but they were brats. They were. We saw it. Brianna then chimed in, placing some of the blame on her parents. And you know what? Brianna's right. I blame them. I blame them for allowing Brianna to be so rude. I blame them for placing Brianna and her siblings in a position where Brianna found it suitable to think that she was better than the others because she seemed to have the biggest house and the best things. I will never forget how when they walked into that RV and they asked Savannah, while laughing at various aspects of how small the RV was, if the place where she slept was where the dog slept. Acting like little Birdie Juniors. I'm on to Brianna. Now, Aurora gives off a little bit more naive. Brianna has more of that conniving side of her mom. You all tell me what you think. I don't like going in on kids, but at this point, the both of them are adults. So it is what it is. I'm just going to say it. She says the parents, they could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family. It never really happened. Once again, Brianna Say that to your mother, because she's the one that isolated her little tenders, her little feathered crew from the very beginning. We read the book. We saw what She-Ra said. We saw how she wanted to advocate for her kids and how she wanted her own space from the other chicks. She didn't say chicks, but you get my point. This brings me to Follow the White Rabbit 9490. I think all the older kids got cut off from Cody by Robin because way back when she announced she was pregnant with Saul, the older kids weren't happy about it. She holds a grudge because of it, so she made sure those kids would never have a relationship with him. And that is what she did. I wouldn't be surprised if she held that moment in her brain like a recording, just going back and forth over and over again, because she never did let that grudge go. She probably watched a clip just as much as we have with her quill in hand as she took notes to see who said what and who did what. The article then reminds us of the Christmas gift exchange. I'm going to attach the article where I got the quotes from, but it's in People. It's just a repeat of what we already said. But anyways, the article reminds us of the Christmas gift exchange that we still don't know all the details to. One thing that we do know, however, is that the kids started becoming victims in that chat. The Bird says, so my older kids all said, this was emotionally unsafe. We just need to kind of step back. We just need to, put down a boundary here. Did they say that? Or did the Bird make them think that they said that? Because she pulled that same crap during Christmas time when both her and the bald eagle made Mary change her mind by saying it was unsafe, and they made Mary think that she had a say in the matter when she really didn't. This is what she does. As many of you have pointed out, she put down the same boundaries that Christine put down, with the difference being that Christine, in my opinion, was actually unsafe, because Cody was an abusive gaslighter and the Bird was there holding the match. She was. The Bird continues. But it was never anything about, we don't want to see you again. We don't want to do anything with you. It was about like, hey, this just got yucky. Do you think because you use the word yucky that means anything to us? We see past that. That's not what it meant. You threw a hissy fit. You got mad. Garrison already told us some of the things that you said in the chat, as did Gwen. You seem to be the most vocal out of all the adults, and now you're going to say it got yucky when you're one of the main people who got yucky. Back in the scene, Christine discusses the situation with Janelle after admitting that Robin's kids felt unwelcome. Christine shared, I thought I was welcoming. She was, and they all were. Cody also addressed his daughter's claims in confessional and related to some of the emotions they feel as an outsider. I don't understand how they're changing this narrative the way that they are, when those kids were basically forced to embrace Robin and her children from the very beginning. He didn't even take time to really acclimate them to one another. He just threw her in the family, and they were told like this is what they were supposed to do. They didn't take the time to really let them court each other, just like Cody didn't take the time to let the wives court one another. He just sees something, and because he wants it, everybody else is supposed to follow suit. Cody said, there's some people in my family that feel like they are superior to others, and they're like, oh, well, we're not going to include them in our club. I'm going to move forward and find happiness and joy outside of my club because it was my club and I got kicked out. And that's the problem. Our Night 2189 said it best. Cody is right. Some people in the family think they are better than others. I'm looking at your feather crew. Also, Cody calling it his club is proof that he thinks he's better. I'm looking at them too, because they're full of sugar, honey, to the ice, to the tea. They're full of bleep. Because what do you mean? he keeps, just because certain people have certain bonds doesn't mean that they feel like they're better than. I said this the other day. There are times when I'm closer to one sibling than the other. Does that mean, oh, because I'm close to these siblings and not these siblings, that means that these siblings aren't a part of my club? No. It just means that I rely on different siblings for different things and vice versa. Or I have shared experiences with this sibling that I may not have with those siblings. It doesn't mean that I don't love them. It doesn't mean that they're not a part of my family. But Cody, even though he tries to make it seem like it's the moms and the kids, Cody has made this a us against them thing. Because Cody should have never got in the middle of that situation when that whole text message thing went down and got in between Robin and them, when it was no need for him to speak up and say anything, especially because the message was originally with the kids and Robin butt in. Tessa B5379 said, I pity anyone that gets hitched to Robin's girls. They have been trained by their mother. Just saying. And they have. And Tessa B, I pity the fool too. I don't know why I just thought of Mr. T, but I pity the fool. So, here's my question, family. What did the bird do to these kids? Seriously, what did she do? When we were first introduced to the Brown family, out of all of Robin's kids, Aurora seemed to be the most outgoing to me. She was the one always talking, the one always smiling, the one always near Hunter, the one always near the other kids. We even saw Christine's kids often interacting with her. And slowly as the years have went on, we've seen her and the others become more and more isolated as a result of their mom, to the point where all of the birds' kids, in my opinion, come off as though they lack proper socialization. This is what I get. I'm all tongue down. The birds' kids come off like they lack proper socialization skills. Like they have not been taught how to interact outside of their home. Let me be clear. I'm not including Dayton because I understand that Dayton has a form of autism. Not including him at all. In my opinion, Dayton is one of the smartest ones in the house. Because Dayton said, y'all keep coming to me with this foolishness and I don't want no part of it. Don't film me. Don't have me sitting on no couch. Don't have me acting like it's something that it's not, because I'm going to tell the truth. I appreciate Dayton. And I can't blame them really for acting like little infants, because their mother, in my opinion, is a cesspool of drama and trauma. She is the pool where you hear how people say that that pool is full of pee-pee. She's the pool that has piss in the water. That sounds so vulgar, but she's pee sounds better than piss, but y'all get it. Y'all know what I'm talking about here. She's that pool. She caused her kids that are now of legal age to sound more like teenagers than adults. Look at the difference between Christine's children, Robin's children, Janelle's children, and Mary's child. There's a big difference there, because the OG 13's kids were taught that independence is key. Finding themselves is key. Things that it doesn't seem like the bird promotes. I almost feel like the bird keeps all her kids emotionally stunted so that the bald eagle is okay with no longer having any more kids. And something about that just makes me wonder. All of this comes down to me, to the behavior of their trifling mama. Her inability to not be the victim, her ability to weaponize her tears. They've watched for years as their mother cries wolf and fakes panic attacks and does things that help her get her way to avoid the hard conversations or to make the bald eagle feel sorry for her. They watched as their mother has changed the narrative of their bio dad, lied about how Dayton hurt his eye, and weaseled her way into this family, preventing them from struggling in the way that they were before they entered. The woman cries like a toddler who got a toy taken away. She has trouble finding her words, and she uses her tears to get what she wants. And it got her the attention that she needed from her bald eagle. Don't forget, when she stood up in front of the family and she talked in third person and she described what happened to her and how she regretted it, and the two other times that it happened afterwards, where one girl, she took her purity and she gave it to someone who begged for it, and he begged for it, and he begged for it. So she gave it away. She gave away her purity, and he didn't respect it, and he threw it on the ground. I'm laughing about it now, but how jacked up is that? How jacked up is it that she sat there on national television and lied the way that she did about what that interaction looked like, to make Cody feel like, I don't know, she's been through something. And the fact that 4 adults could watch her do that and believe it, that some of them were that naive that they felt like in that moment when she told that story that what she was saying was normal and it was sincere. Remember, this is the loyal wife. This is the one, Cody told us that, she told us before she got into the family what had happened to her. Nothing happened to her. What do you mean what had happened to her? She's a liar. Nothing happened to her. And it's insulting to the people that it's happened to. How about that? But we're not going to call her out on any of that, because Preston is so traumatized by the mess that she put him through that he never even came forward and said anything. I'd hate to see what TLC probably did to him and the threats that they gave to him based on what we saw in Jill Duggar's book about what happened to her. I hate to see what happened to him, that he hasn't come out, that they've been able to scare him, because she's a liar. But the fact that that lady sat there and she did that and she lied the way that she did and the other moms didn't say anything about it, in my opinion, if I heard her telling that story, I would have been saying, run. What have we gotten ourselves into? We need to go ahead and sever ties now, because she's a liar. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. You don't always get along with your siblings. Hell, you don't always get along with your parents. The stories I could tell, me and my mama, there's a lot of years where we bumped heads, man. I never bumped heads with my dad, but my mother and I, we bumped heads. But guess what? Just because we may have bumped heads from time to time doesn't mean that I love her any less. And I feel like the fact that this is what they're giving us now, it just makes me feel that they're a lot like their mama. But you all, did I say that right? They are a lot like their mother. I don't know how that came out. Y'all know I don't edit. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do we think of that whole situation with the girls and what they're saying and how they act a lot like their mom, in my opinion? Until next time.